Well, howdy fucking do, folks. It's late at night, and I feel like making a video, so we're gonna be having some fun with a video entitled Grand Theft Auto 6 Going Woke with Female Protagonist? Question mark? LOL, MGTOW. For those of you who don't know, MGTOW stands for Men Going Their Own Way. It's basically this sexist movement on the internet consisting of a bunch of men who can't get laid, or who can get laid but they just attract really terrible women. And so instead of just, finding women who they actually enjoy being around, they've decided to dedicate their lives to this pathetic movement. This video came out about a year ago, by the way. It's a video of a guy complaining about the prospect of GTA 6 having a female protagonist. And considering the outrage that I've seen regarding GTA 6 having Lucia as one of the main characters, I feel like it's kind of apropos to make fun of this, so let's do it.
Hi everyone, Saneman here. This video was brought to you by a donation from Mr. Anonymous. He didn't give me a specific topic, so I want to cover the recent rumors that the next GTA Part 6 is going to have a female protagonist.
Why do you talk like that? Imagine if I did that in my videos. I'm like, hello, SWEGTA here, making another video talking about the new bully mod. But it's even more monotonous than that. It's like, I don't know, you know how like Valley girls will sometimes phrase everything like it's a question? Like, I went to the mall and then I saw Jared, and Jared didn't even look at me. But I feel like this is way worse. This is just infuriating to listen to. Oh my god, I'm like 12 seconds into this. This is not gonna go well.
If it's true, then the destruction of male cultural institutions continues.
What? I feel like you're being a bit overly dramatic, my guy. The continued destruction of male cultural institutions. What? Dude, it's a video game. Chill out. Like, it's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. The destruction of male cultural institutions. What even is a male cultural institution? Are you talking about just like macho culture? Because I don't feel like GTA is a part of that. If anything, it makes fun of it.
We are tough guys. Tough as nails. Nails. You know what? I shoot a nail into my hand right now.
I'm kind of hoping that GTA 6 is going to make fun of MGTOWs as well. That'd be kind of cool.
Is there anything we can do about this?
No.
Should we even do something about it?
No. That is the answer, sad man.
Personally, I don't care. I played GTA 1, 2, and 3 back—
Well, if you don't care, then what gives with this video? You've made a 12-minute and 21-second long video opining on the topic, nonetheless, so you obviously do care.
I also played World of Warcraft, and my main character was a female paladin elf. So I don't really care that there's a female character in GTA.
Okay, well then problem solved. No need for a video.
What I think will happen if the game developers do this is that crime rates among women will actually go up.
What? Wait, hold on. So like, GTA 6 having a female protagonist, crime rate among women will skyrocket. Based on what? What evidence do you have to support this claim? None. I'm just gonna take a shot in the fucking dark and assume you don't provide a lick of evidence throughout this entire video.
The female prison population is growing faster than the male one in the United States.
So what? What does that have to do with video games?
This certainly won't help. We shouldn't protect male—
How do you know that?
video game franchises that have been around for 20 plus years. Instead, what we need to do is bring on innovation. Women generally hate new things that they don't understand.
Okay, so just casual sexism. Like, yeah, women are a bunch of fucking dumb cunts. They don't know shit. Like, there's like a crime scene, and this guy's like, oh, we have to examine it and find evidence. You probably shouldn't touch any of the evidence, but whatever, he's a man, he's allowed to do that. Meanwhile, the woman is just like completely oblivious to what's going on. She's like, ah, whatever, I'll just step over this line. Doesn't matter. I found something shiny on the floor, it's distracting me, I have no time to think. I don't have the mental faculties to actually make any proper decision-making in this case. I'm just gonna ruin all the evidence and stumble my way around. Cause I'm a woman, and that's what we do. Like, what is this image supposed to convey?
Or until those things gain mainstream acceptance and adoption. It usually takes years for that to finally happen. Women weren't into Star Trek back in the 1980s and 90s either.
You know, there's been a thing where, the demographics for a lot of things in entertainment have shifted. You know how, like, back in the 80s and 90s, people used to market video games as toys. They were actually often called toys. You know, like a console you had at home was a toy. So a lot of the marketing for video games was done with a really young audience in mind, whereas nowadays it's heavily varied. It all depends on the content of the game. But even setting all of that aside, to me it seems completely innocuous to have women be more interested in video games nowadays. Like, why is that a bad thing? Why is that something that we should be suspicious of? How about this? Maybe women just are people, and people's interests vary depending on the generation they're in.
We need male geek culture that's so cutting edge that women don't understand it and are attacking it for being too nerdy and geeky.
What? Again, like, this is just like, oh, women, they just don't understand, so they attack things they don't understand. It's like, oh, yeah, I kind of like how you attack women in this video, and you frame them as, like, total nitwits. I'm just gonna be totally honest and just be blunt about it. The reason you don't have any success with women is because you have the most obnoxious voice ever, and second of all, you're obviously a sexist. And third of all, like, as soon as women just share a common interest with you, you view that as like some type of threat to masculine culture. Try to do better. Try to just be a decent person to be around. And I promise you, you'll find a decent woman to be around.
When women finally accept it and eventually try and ruin it, that's when we need to reject it and move on to something else. Star Wars was the first example of how that needs to be done. Disney realized they needed to go back to the drawing board after all the fans boycotted it.
This has nothing to do with Grand Theft Auto 6.
And I enjoyed The Mandalorian. Because the backlash,
So
they
what?
stopped cutting out male heroes because
So
they were
what?
losing money doing
Get
it.
to the
Discuss GTA 6 and the
point.
Wham! It in
Get
just a
to
moment.
the
But let me first tell
point.
everyone about today's sponsor,
No
Lindsay
sponsor.
Transmission.
No, shut up. I'm not gonna let you get away with sponsoring shit on my fucking channel, bitch.
Anyways, now back to the Clown World show.
I feel like that's an appropriate thing to say, but not in the way you intended.
As I was saying earlier, the best way to fight infiltration and destruction of male geek and nerd culture is through innovation.
What's being destroyed? What destruction?
I remember growing up and most girls weren't into Super Mario until Super Mario 3. I never saw them play Doom, Wolfenstein, Quake, James Bond, GoldenEye, and other first-person shooter games in the 90s.
So what? There's been a shift in culture. There's been a shift in demographics. That's fine. Like, the level of fragility that I'm seeing on display is fucking pathetic. And by the way, maybe this is just me, but I like it when I have more things in common with other humans. That's a good thing, I reckon. Like, if I know that there's a higher percentage of women who share an interest with me, then that's cool. I like that. I'm not immediately gonna find that to be problematic and say that, oh, my culture is being destroyed. How? Why? When? Where? By whom? You've yet to demonstrate any of this. You suck.
We need new game concepts and companies to create new types of games that women don't understand, instead of hiding behind our previous game successes.
Why do we need that?
Men need to start their own.
Okay, you're not going to elaborate on why we need that. You're just going to declare that that's a thing that is of necessity. Like, yeah, we need this. Anyway, we also need this. Anyway, women are stupid. Anyway, GTA 6 is going to be woke if there's a woman in it.
Make a whole bunch of great games and then sell their intellectual property to bigger gynocentric game development companies.
Gynocentric? What?
And then start another company and do it all over again. By the time they figure them out and ruin them, we moved on to something new. So even if they exploit it, they won't make much money doing it for very...
What the f*** are you yammering about? What are you talking about? Like, I'm trying to follow this, but it's just so disconnected from anything. Like, if people actually pay this motherfucker to talk, they pay him to speak in videos, and it's just like the most monotonous, nonsensical, whiny crap ever. If GTA 6 has a female lead and it's a good game, that's fine. But to immediately assume that it's some kind of problem or like it's indicative of them going woke, no, it's just something that like has been speculated about GTA for a long time. A lot of articles and a lot of people have been talking about how, oh, maybe one day we'll get a female protagonist, and now we're getting one. So what? That's fine. Like, nothing's happened. No institution has been demolished by the presence of a woman in a video game, you fucking dunce.
The same sort of stuff happened with music when I was growing up. When I was listening to Prodigy, Chemical Brothers, and the Crystal Method, women weren't interested in those types of bands. Instead, they were interested in listening to Nirvana, Green Day, REM, and Soundgarden.
So what? What does that matter?
They didn't really understand electronic music and used to make fun of me for it. Or they used to get their simps to make fun of me for them.
Oh my god, dude. Okay, I see what's going on. I see what happened. You tried making a move on a chick at like a record store. You like approached her with your Prodigy CD. You know, she's just standing there minding her own business, like flipping through some Nirvana records. And you're like, Nirvana's garbage. You should listen to The Prodigy. I have a copy right here. You can go listen to it with me and then go on a date. My name is Sandman. And she's like, ew, no, thank you. And her boyfriend's like, can you, like, leave us alone? I will never let this go. I will mention it in my YouTube videos decades from now.
Create some new, unique, strange cultures that take women time to figure out, which is pretty much the best defense we have with regards to women infiltrating it and changing it. In a sense, we have to...
Infiltrating it? Like, you keep talking about women as though they're like some kind of secret society movement. They're people. They're just people like you and me. This is the reason why, like, so many people in the MGTOW movement don't have any success with women. It's because you're being f***ing weird. Stop it. Just chill out.
According to the person leaking the news about GTA 6, which is still a rumor and needs to be taken with a grain of salt.
Not anymore. It's been confirmed, boyo.
The game will have multiple protagonists, some male and some female. This kind of reminds me of when I played Enter the Matrix in 2003, and you either had to play the game from either a male or female character's perspective. I thought that was great. But if they have a female protagonist, I hope they don't insert male-bashing nonsense into the game. Rockstar Games relatively recently...
I hope they insert MGTOW bashing nonsense. That'd be fun.
Put out Red Dead Redemption 2, where you could tie up a fat suffragette like a hog and feed her to gators.
Okay, that's fine, but like no anti-MGTOW stuff. No like anti-toxic masculinity stuff in the game either. Feeding a feminist to some alligators, that's like, yeah, based. But if there's like anything in the game where it's like, hey, you know, white supremacy is bad, or like, hey, sexism is bad, woke. Immediately it's woke and it's garbage and you hate it and you complain about it on the internet.
But that all of a sudden they're going to throw a ton of social justice juice onto their products.
See, that's what I'm talking about right there. Before you even said it.
Maybe one level is all about capturing one of those fashion models and force feeding her until she needs a rascal and converting her to her fat fupa way of life.
What the hell did I just click on? I just chose like a random part of the video and I ended up on this. What is this? This is like your weird masturbatory fantasies leaking into the video. Like, no, just stick to the topic of the video, please.
Where the bad guys win and the good guys are actually fighting a guerrilla war. What about figuring out if they can actually make more episodes of X-Files with the new cast? The problem with what I just suggested is...
Can you imagine living with this guy and just having to listen to his dumb f***ing voice all day?
Against Grand Theft Auto with the female character as if she was fat and had tattoos and short purple hair.
Are we actually gonna do this again? The whole, like, purple-haired SJW tattoos. Because, by the way, like, tattoos on women that have, like, a criminal past, that is such an uncommon thing, right? And also fat. Like, yeah, God forbid a woman doesn't have, like, a skeletal figure. Like, you do realize that, like, naturally women have curves, right?
But nowadays, female characters are written as female Mary Sues, and we can't relate to any of them. Because we aren't like many of the women there that have actually had everything handed to them because they let some simp put his hands on their breasts.
What are you talking about? Like, dude, YouTube is not your shrink. Okay, we're not expecting you to make yourself comfortable on the couch and tell us about your relationship with your mother. That's not our gig, dude. Just some of the stuff you need to keep to yourself, because this video is full of these little moments where you just like have like a Freudian slip. You know, because everything is oddly specific. Like, you'll talk about how you tried to talk to women about the Prodigy or the Crystal Method, but they were more interested in listening to REM and Nirvana. Oh yeah, God forbid a woman you're talking to has different interests. So it's like, when you don't have something in common, that's a bad thing. When you do have something in common, that's also a bad thing. Like, you're like an unpleasable fucking cunt. You know, like, the reason you don't have success with women is not because women have just become totally irrational and unreasonable in all regard. It's because you've become irrational and unreasonable in every regard, okay? You know, like, I know plenty of different women. Some of them are fun to be around. Some of them are not. It varies, just like men. Liquid sugar. By the way, audience, tonight at 8 p.m. CET, I, SWEGTA, will be speedrunning Bully, but it's not going to be a normal speedrun. It's going to be a speedrun consisting of me stealing cars. My good friend Derpy has made a mod that basically allows me to steal cars in the game. I can carjack people. I can actually run up to cars in the game and pull out the driver and hop in and drive off. And this being the case, it only makes sense that from now on, we're going to be speedrunning a category called GTA%. Basically getting to the end of the game as fast as possible, but you are allowed to steal cars. Join me, my good friends. Join me at 8 p.m. CET on this channel. Click over here if you want to join the live stream, and I'll see you there. Peace out.